Ethan always believed that his life was on a perfect path. He had a stable job as an architect, a cozy house, and an amazing woman by his side, Lily. Their relationship seemed like a fairy tale. They shared dreams, laughter, and plans for the future. Together, they had built a life full of love, or at least that's what Ethan thought. He never imagined that things were about to change in a devastating way. One day, while working on a project, Ethan received an unexpected message from a mutual friend. It was a photo of Lily and his best friend, Jake, at a restaurant. The image showed them very close, with smiles that suggested a deeper connection than mere friendship. Ethan was perplexed, trying to push away the doubt that settled in his mind. What were they doing together? He remembered all the times Lily had mentioned Jake, always with a light-hearted tone, but now everything seemed suspicious. With his heart racing, he decided he needed to know the truth. After work, he headed to the bar where Jake and Lily often met with friends. Upon arriving, the scene he found felt like a knife stabbed into his chest. Lily and Jake were sitting at a secluded table, laughing and conversing intimately. The complicity between them was undeniable. Ethan felt as if the ground had vanished beneath his feet. He had never imagined that Jake, his longtime friend, could do something like this. The betrayal felt so brutal and unexpected that he froze for a moment. Ethan decided he needed to confront them, but anger and pain consumed him. He entered the bar, and as soon as his eyes met Lily's, a mix of confusion and guilt crossed her face. "Ethan! What are you doing here?" she exclaimed, surprised. Jake, beside her, looked at Ethan with an expression that mixed discomfort and fear. "I think we have something to discuss," Ethan said, trying to maintain his composure, even though his voice trembled. Lily tried to justify the situation. "Ethan, it's just a friendship, you know how close we are, right?" But her words sounded hollow, and at that moment, Ethan realized that everything he believed about them was crumbling. "Friendship? Is that what you call this?" he asked, the pain in his voice intensifying. "You're with him. With my best friend." Anger overwhelmed him, and tears threatened to spill from his eyes. Lily attempted to approach him, but he pushed her away. Jake, on the other hand, seemed too cowardly to speak. He knew he had crossed a line, but his cowardice prevented him from defending himself. The silence among the three was deafening, and Ethan felt like he was drowning in a sea of betrayal and disillusionment. He couldn't understand how he had been so naive, how he hadn't seen the signs. The image of Lily and Jake together replayed in his mind, like an unbearable echo. After a discussion that felt endless, Ethan decided he could no longer stay there. With a heavy heart, he turned away, leaving the bar and walking aimlessly through the streets. The pain followed him, a shadow that wouldn't let him be at peace. He wondered how he could have trusted someone who now seemed so disloyal. The betrayal was like an open wound, and distrust spread through his veins like poison. The following days were a whirlwind of emotions. Ethan tried to move on with his life, but the memory of Lily and Jake was always present. He felt lost, as if he had been ripped from his own existence. Every corner of his house reminded him of moments that now felt false. The photos that once brought joy were now painful reminders of everything that had been destroyed. Ethan questioned whether he would ever be able to overcome this betrayal or trust anyone again. Meanwhile, Lily and Jake attempted to connect. She tried to justify her actions, but Jake, now aware of what he had lost, was deeply regretting it. However, even amid the pain they caused, Lily still fought to keep Jake by her side, believing that what they felt for each other was real. But Ethan could no longer be part of this triangle. He needed time to heal, to rebuild his life. Weeks passed, and Ethan's emotional wound seemed never to heal. He made an effort to avoid places that reminded him of Lily, but that proved impossible. Every corner, every song, every scent evoked memories he wished to forget. Ethan felt a mix of anger and sadness consuming him, becoming a burden he carried each day. He began to isolate himself, distancing from friends who had once been a source of joy and support. What should have been a period of growth and self-discovery quickly turned into a spiral of loneliness. One night, while scrolling through social media, Ethan saw a photo of Lily and Jake together on a trip they had taken. The image was filled with smiles and happiness, and seeing her next to his best friend hit him like a blow. Rage boiled within him, and he felt an urge to confront them again. However, at the same time, he knew he could not do that. He no longer wanted to give them the power to hurt him. Determined to escape the suffering, Ethan decided it was time to seek help. He began attending a support group, where he met people who had also faced betrayal and disillusionment. Sharing their experiences was an important first step toward healing. He began to realize he was not alone in his pain and that there were others who could understand what he was going through. The empathy he found in that group helped him process his emotions and see the betrayal in a new light. As time went on, Ethan started to rebuild himself. He signed up for a design course he had always wanted to take and began exploring new passions. Meetings with old friends became more frequent, and he started to rediscover the joy he had lost. The pain of betrayal was still there, but he began to realize that life went on. He learned that betrayal, while painful, could also be an opportunity for self-discovery in understanding his own strengths and limits. Lily, on the other hand, found herself increasingly immersed in a tumultuous relationship with Jake. As she tried to justify her actions to herself, she began to realize that things were not as she had imagined. Jake didn't treat her as Ethan had, he was more selfish and less attentive. Over time, Lily started to feel an emptiness in her life, a gap she thought Jake could fill, but it seemed to expand even more. She realized that what she had considered a new chance was becoming a cycle of insecurity and regret. Finally, after months of internal struggle, Ethan managed to stand tall again. He realized he deserved more than a love that wasn't genuine and that the betrayal from Lily and Jake could not define his worth. Although the scar remained, he found a new purpose. The pain that once paralyzed him now transformed into fuel for his pursuit of happiness and authenticity. He began to focus on new friendships, on relationships that were sincere and based on mutual respect. One night, while attending an art exhibition, Ethan met a woman named Clara. She was different from anyone else, there was a light in her eyes and a contagious laugh. They started talking, and the connection between them was instant. Ethan felt a spark he hadn't experienced in a long time. With Clara, he didn't feel the pressure of the past, instead, he felt the freedom to be himself. Gradually, Ethan began to open his heart again, learning to trust and love even with the lingering fear. And so, Ethan moved forward, knowing that while there was a void left by the betrayal, he also had the chance to build something new, something better. The last to know about the betrayal had learned to value himself and to move on, leaving behind the shadows of a love that had never been true. He understood that despite the pain, life always offers new opportunities, and true love can be found when least expected. Ethan's journey of healing became a story of resilience, showing that after betrayal, it is possible to find a path to renewal and happiness. Share your thoughts on the comments section and don't forget to follow for more videos like this one.